Hey everybody, Zach here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make bases that look like they're illuminated by the light coming from a full moon. This is an airbrush project, but you won't need very many paints for it. The star player here is the Musou Black. It's sort of like a Vanta Black. It absorbs a lot of light and is super funky looking. I'm making a moonlit desert, and I'll show you how I do it, but you could actually apply the moonlit effect to any type of terrain you want to have, jungle, urban, whatever you're basing your models on. The desert I'm making here is like the Sonora Desert in the American Southwest, so cactuses are going to be a big part of it, and dry, crackly earth. I'm starting off here with AK Diorama light and dry crackle effects spread all over the base. You give that some time to dry and you get something that looks like this. Any kind of crackle product will work here. I actually think I like Citadels better than AKs. If you spread it on too thin though, you'll get pretty much nothing happening, so you want to slather it on there really thick. And be patient, the cracks appear as the product starts to dry. To get a variety of texture, I also use AK Diorama neutral texture for rough terrain. This makes it look like encroaching gravel, and then also we'll do little spots here and there just to make like little gravel pieces. It's really important. It breaks up the flatness of the crackle texture stuff. Okay, from Epic Basing, really cool site, check it out. I got a variety of cactuses, including some really tall ones. These are going to be super important for the moonlit effect because they're going to cast long dramatic shadows. We'll get there in a bit. Also, don't leave home without your skull kit from Citadel. If you haven't gotten this box yet, I super recommend it. It comes in handy. And finally, we want some large rocks, so we're going to represent those with just pebbles that I have found. Of course, you can also purchase pebbles if you're lazy. If you've got kind of a big model like Lady O, you might want to blue tack her to the base first and build around her, especially with these tall cactuses. Have fun with this part. You're making a little diorama. Keep in mind, we're going to be shooting the airbrush paint at a low angle, and anything tall or sticking up off the ground is going to cast a shadow, and that's a good thing. Okay, when your project's built, give it a little bit of time to dry if it hasn't, and then go ahead and prime it with the primer of your choice. Okay, here comes another fun part. We're gonna use the Musou Black to turn this base completely pitch black. Make sure you get total coverage here, don't miss a spot. The Musou Black definitely works better through a large airbrush like a Badger Patriot, and it's gonna go on with an almost fuzzy, velvety-like look, as you can see here. To get sort of a stark moonlit look, we're actually going to remove some of the colors from this palette here, as you can see, and we're only going to use these three colors to create the moonlit effect. Starting with the Fang from Citadel, you want to come in at a very low angle. Make sure you're hitting the cactuses directly head on, or whatever tall object you have on your base. It's going to cast these really cool looking shadows behind it. With the first color, the Fang, I'm trying to hit a little bit more of the ground. You're going to be hitting the front rim of your base, don't worry, we're going to paint that over. And with the next color here, Fenrisian Gray, I'm trying to hit more just the cactuses, just the skull, the rocks, the bits I've added to the base. I've got MSP Pearlescent White here. You're going to use any kind of pearlescent, mother of pearl white that you've got. Just a little bit of it to dry brush and get kind of like a glimmering look. As you can see here, I'm mostly sticking to the top half of some of the taller cactuses and some of the very tip top of the smaller cactuses and the rock. Okay, so here are those shadows I was talking about. You can see the cactus has cast some pretty awesome ones naturally, but if you want to bring this out even more, you can go back in with the Musou Black and dry brush carefully, and you'll get really aggressive dark shadows. I think it's a pretty cool look. You can see I did it here. Finally then, I'm choosing to paint the rim of this base with more of the Musou Black to give it a really striking look. Look how strong the contrast between where we have sprayed the moonlight, so to speak, is against the edge of the rim. Looks pretty cool, I think. Okay, now this is highly optional depending on your model, but Lady O is pressed right up against the cactuses. I'm actually using them to support her a little bit. She's kind of wobbly on her own. And so I wanted to put a little bit of a glow effect. I used AK Interactive titanium white ink to do that, where her robes are coming in contact with the cactuses. Okay, and here is the end result with Lady O on the base. There you have it. Not particularly hard to do at all, but a couple steps you want to get right. Make sure you are getting a good angle in that airbrush. And when you're adding bits to the base, taller things are going to be more dramatic, help you cast these longer shadows. If you stay to the end, definitely give this video a like and subscribe, and in the comments, let me know what base you'd like to see a tutorial for next.